Well, I've been working with clay today, and so it's a bit messy. We've been digging in clay in the garden. It's sticky stuff and hard to budge, and reminds me a bit of the church actually. The other day, our teenage youth group was posting links to reasons why marriage was just for a man and a woman. And I looked at it, I was a little surprised, and my daughter was outraged. And then today at Mass, our priest read us a letter from the bishops, the Catholic bishops, that pretty much outlined why, well, not really why, but it said a lot about marriage being for a man and a woman, and that was it. And we needed to remember that. And I was thinking at that point that perhaps the church needs to change. Now I know that's difficult because if you go back and look at Martin Luther and his 95 Theses, admittedly 40 something of them were meant to be heresy, and he wouldn't take them back because he was an all or nothing kind of guy, and he ended up getting kicked out of the church, right? So then you look at Vatican II and you line them up with some of those changes he suggested, and there's not a lot of difference apart from the 500 years it took the church to catch up. So I don't want to be picky, but I think this is a time when the church needs to think about another change. The generation that's coming through now and is being told by the bishops the marriage is a sacred, a beautiful sacrament for a man and a woman, and that whole, it's till death us do part, is pretty silly for a lot of our young people today who've watched their parents battle bitterly over access and who gets the house, and I think on the other hand we've got the church saying marriage is for a man and a woman because that's what Adam and Eve did. After all, as people say, it wasn't Adam and Steve, was it? No, but we're talking about a biblical creation story. And right at the other end of the scale, we've got today's society where the young people of today are growing up accepting that some people are homosexual. So there, I've said it now. Some people are homosexual, and that it's okay. It's tolerated, it's even embraced, and it's seen as something that maybe you just can't help. And I think more and more there's a greater compassion emerging for people who are diverse, for people who are different from the norm. And this is where the church, I think, is getting it wrong, because the church is still focused on marriage being so that we can make babies, which kind of implies that marriage is all about sex. And frankly, I don't think it is. Now, I've been married for 25 years. I know about sex, I know about marriage, but I don't think that marriage is as much about sex as it is about relationships. And a loving, committed relationship deserves the grace that comes with a sacrament. And I think if people are going to be loving and committed, sacramentally blessed in their union, who cares what sex they are? They are sticking together. There's so many ways to get a baby these days. There's IVF, there's gift, there's TOF, there's surrogacy, there's adoption. There's a myriad of ways to get a baby, and it doesn't have to involve sex, but a marriage needs to hold together, to be loving, secure, to be equal. And I think if two people of the same sex wanted to do that, to have a loving, secure, equal partnership, where if by some mysterious means a child appears in there, that child will be loved and secure. And that is what the Catholic Church's biggest issue is, that that a child from a relationship will be loved and secure. So I think that the church has to change, that its focus has to move from sex, which hilariously enough the leaders of the church don't get, to relationships, which we all wish for, of any kind, that a loving, committed relationship is the key to a good marriage. And to ban some people from that, to bar some people in our church community from that possibility, is not what Jesus would have done. Jesus went out of his way to reach out to the marginalised. He would have gone to dinner with a gay couple, had a good time and taken his friends along. And I think that is where perhaps the church has spent a bit of their time. Thank you.